He thought he was in control. How wrong he was.
Come to the dark side, drive-in. It's the dark side, drive-in. Come to the dark side, drive-in. It's the dark side, drive-in movie club.
From the deepest corner of the darkest universe, two brave hosts battle through nameless hordes of ghoulish monsters most foul, all to bring you the eternal glory of the Dark Side Drive-In.
It's the dark side, drive-in. It's the dark side, drive-in. Come to the dark side, drive-in. It's the dark side, drive-in movie club. It's the dark side, drive-in. Come to the dark side, drive-in. It's the dark side, drive-in. It's the dark side, drive-in movie club.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another terror-deploying, spookiness employing, and haunt-enjoying episode of the Dark Side Drive-In Intermission. And now I will welcome the fools who jewel for ghouls, the hosts, Stefan. Well, thank you, Darkside Dave. I always appreciate your contribution to this podcast. As you should, Venmo me bones. And the other host, Shit.
Thanks, Dave. You're such a professional.
Darkside Dave,
Such a
how
professional.
dare you? What a rude thing to do.
Yeah, you interrupted me, so never mind. I rescind my compliment.
Don't take back my bones.
You know what? Sure.
I may be forklift certified, but it's hard to get employed at a warehouse when you have no eyes. And also, apparently, my loose cloak that is the common clothing choice of most necromancers doesn't fit into OSHA guidelines for appropriate attire.
Yeah, I was kind of worried about that. Like, how don't you get caught up on the equipment? But I think maybe that's why you are the way you are. So.
I'm immortal. I can't even die. It doesn't matter. I'll get
Probably
caught up in it.
immoral, too.
I am immoral. That's why I'm making that House of Bones I was talking about a few episodes ago. Hopefully everyone's keeping up with the lore. That's how you'll know. Otherwise you'll be really confused that I'm forklift certified. I also don't wear shoes.
Do you like Alice in Chains?
Alice in Chains rules. Here comes the rooster. Is that how that song goes? Oh, because of them bones.
Them.
That's the song you
Yeah,
meant.
them bones.
Yeah, that's also good. I also enjoy roosters.
Do you really even like bones, Dave? I'm just kind of worried about you. Getting a little suspicious of you, pal.
Yeah, man. I don't think you even know how many bones there are. I know how many bones a shark has, which is 0, because they're cartilage. We have sharks in my dimension, by the way. Whatever plane I come from, there's sharks there. And they're allowed to run for office. This plane is so backwards. They've remained consistent and haven't evolved in millions of years, and you guys won't even let them run for president. All right, anyways, I'm going to go and play Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. I still haven't beat Great Ape Vegeta.
Good luck.
He will rue the day. All right, bye.
Bye.
All right, he's gone. Hope he's firing up the
A little
Xbox.
spicy today, Dave. Dave was getting a little spicy. You know, I feel like we got to call him out sometimes. I don't know.
Yeah, I just
call him on his bullshit.
I'm not clear on how his powers work, so I want to be really careful about it because he has a spare set of keys to my apartment.
He does.
Yeah, he had a copy made when I was gone. I was like, I can't believe that Lowe's let him in without shoes on. They're very accommodating to me at that Lowe's. Okay, it's good, Dave. I'm glad that they were very kind to you. I also purchased an air conditioning unit that I can plug into an AC port for my Dragula because my air conditioner broke and I don't know how to fix things. Today, all right, Dave, shut up.
You just use the bones.
Yeah, you can't make an air conditioner out of bones, you fool. I'm also an HVAC employee.
Oh God!
Wait, then why would you buy an AC powered air conditioner to plug in your Dragula, not just take it to the garage? Because they don't have parts for an extra dimensional vehicle. Oh, that all checks out. So this is all making sense. This is such a like. There's no one who could like go through these details and find holes in it at all. This is
None.
No. This is a perfectly plotted series of events. All right, I'm leaving. Bye. And he's gone this time. But yeah, Shane, guess what? This is a Dark Side Drive-In intermission. Unlike the regular Dark Side Drive-In episodes where people, have to listen to us talk about one movie, we will talk about many movies or something else. We'll talk about whatever we want, basically. Because
whatever we feel like.
Because most people will be in line at the snack bar trying to get some stale popcorn and some probably melted Reese's Pieces. Actually, do Reese's Pieces melt?
They do.
Oh, yuck.
Hey, you know what candy I saw the other day on TikTok? And I was, and it was like, took me down like just memory lane. Do you remember the Butterfinger BBs?
Of course I do.
Dude, those things fucking slapped. What happened to those?
I feel like there's a lot of like mini versions of candy bars that just fell off the face of the earth. Because I don't think a month goes by that I don't like wistfully reflect on the fact that I can no longer locate Nestle's Bunch of Crunch.
Oh, that'll never happen. Yeah.
No, that's what I mean. Like this is
those ruled.
They did rule, and they were the perfect snack for a movie theater because they came in like a little box. You just dump that bad boy in your mouth while you're sitting in the dark. You don't have to aim. You don't have to reach. Just dump it in there.
Dude, you can still buy them.
What?
Yeah, on Amazon, Walmart. They even have dark chocolate versions now.
Well, that's a bug. That's not a feature. I don't want dark chocolate versions of it. Also, now that's going to make my mom mad. She loves dark chocolate.
Holy Christ, dude, they're so expensive. That means they're probably old as shit. Let me try to see.
So they are expired.
It's not letting me buy. See all buying options.
That's probably a bad sign.
It's not that bad.
What is it? Like only like $1,100?
You can buy a $60 bag. Oh, there's 8 bulk bag. You have to buy 8 giant bulk bags of these things.
What are you buying them from like a wholesaler? What are you doing?
I'm on Amazon. Yeah, that's hilarious.
You're buying them from like the actual Nestle family, just from their stock in the basement. It's like,
yeah, I'm like, we're calling them like they're going down to their private reserve.
Like, yeah, you think we're gonna even sell these to you for less than 10 pounds worth of Nestle's Bunch of Crunch? You get out of here. We're not doing it.
Yeah, dude, you literally have to buy like 2 pounds worth of Nestle Bunch of Crunch to buy it. There's like an MOQ on Nestle Bunch of Crunch. That's awesome. Yeah. So, but it is fitting that we talk about candy because you know what time of year it is, right?
It's the spookiest season of the year.
Sure.
Other than I guess
Christmas.
The day after Thanksgiving. Yeah. That's probably the actual scariest day of the year because capitalism.
Yeah, or what's her face shows up? Mariah Carey.
Oh yeah, with the
yeah. Jesus, dude.
Was that All I Want for Christmas Is You?
That joke never gets old.
The joke is good. The song, I don't care for it.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you a secret, and I'll say it right here. I don't care for Christmas music. I'm just not a fan, and not even just like religious Christmas music. Even though I love hearing more and more about what Angels or Drummer Boys have to say about this kid that just dropped. But like, I also am kind of over just all this like joy. It's like, all right, I get it. You're psyched.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah. Like stop being so happy. You still have to work most days of this month. So shut up. It's not that great. I probably shouldn't describe the birth of Jesus as the kid that a new kid dropped.
Yeah, he'll love that. It's like an album.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. New album drop. It's Jesus. He's spitting.
So we're like right in the middle of what we consider, from everyone that told us, the most important segment that we do all year, the block.
Oh,
which
Samhain Season Devilish Duology.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're sort of in the middle of it, kind of off center.
Yeah. To you, it's kind of middle. It's mid adjacent.
I do not understand that at all.
I don't either. But we did Mausoleum Neeson. That was good.
Yeah. He's gonna. I will find you, and I will possess you. But no. So I'm really curious about your segue here. You are off from our showrunner right now.
Am I? My bad. Take over.
Well, no. Are you driving to something? What are you driving towards?
No, I just was talking. Just vamping.
How dare you? First of all,
vamp.
Vamp. The world is a vamp. No, you're supposed to do the house creeping, Shane. You fool.
Oh yeah, that's okay. You're right. I was driving somewhere. So we're just
off-roading towards it because you certainly weren't on the road.
Yeah, ATV off-road fury right into our house creeping.
Oh man, I love that game.
It's so good, and like, there's no reason it was that good because the game had nothing in it. Do you remember that? There was just, you didn't do anything. You just drove around.
Do you ever drive to the edds of the map and hit it and you just go flying?
It just fucks you up. Yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing. I used to play it with my cousin Ernst on the PlayStation 2 all the time. It was you just unlocked a core memory.
I'm telling you, it was the Butterfinger BBs, the Bunch of Crunch, and ATV Off-Road Fury. Yeah, so we're right in the center of our Samhain Season Devilish Duology. Insert cool music. And we just did Mausoleum, and up next we got the good old 976 Evil, which stay peeled for that. Should be a pretty interesting episode, I think. The rest of the group is still kind of doing their thing. AGB is still streaming Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I think he took a week off. I think he's on vacation this week, but he'll be coming back for Halloween, and I think he's gonna try to do some horror-based streaming content. I haven't heard yet, but stay peeled to twitch.tv/the_AGB. Loki Arcade still going strong. We've been doing a lot of horror content, so I just played the Demonologist game, which is kind of like a knockoff of, well, I don't want to say knockoff. It's kind of a similar concept to Phasmophobia. So if you're into those games, that was a horrible time for me because I was terrified. And I kind of gave Stefan a little preview. And when I first started playing, I was so jumpy. He's like, why is your character moving like that? And I was like quick moving my mouse around. He's like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Like, what is happening? I'm like, oh, that's how terrified. Like, I was just white knuckling my mouse. There were some good jump scares though. That game's a lot of fun. So if you're into that, definitely check it out. You can play the demo for free. So if you don't want the full version, I think it was like version 0.5 is free.
I say that while I watch you play, but then I recently was playing, what was it? I was playing the Resident Evil 2 remake again. I was giving that a shot. And I was I was like running so fast through rooms. I just ran into the loving arms of a zombie. Just like, oh, whoops. I had a gun with unlimited ammo. I could have easily shredded this fool. And instead I went into his, gooey embrace. So it didn't go well for me.
I don't know if it's just because when we were younger, that game was so terrifying. Like both the first one and second one, just I guess for maybe our age range, or like that game is legitimately scary. There are some moments that like really get you, especially the remake.
Or like Resident Evil. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Like we really feel like zombies are kind of played out now, but that was like a fresh take on a way to do a horror game at the time. It was interesting. Mm-hmm. Like you didn't have a lot of that. I mean, there's zombies in other ones. What was that game that was like where you fought zombies and werewolves, Nightmare Creatures? Do you remember that for like the N64, the PlayStation 1?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Where's my Nightmare Creatures remake? Whatever company made that.
In the garbage.
Yeah. It's in the trash where that game probably belongs.
It's right beside where Bloody Roar is just slowly dying and wilting into nothing.
Don't even.
Thanks, PlayStation, you pieces of shit. I'm just kidding.
Well, no, Bloody Roar rules. That's a devastating loss.
Yeah.
That is a real cultural black hole that we don't have that now.
Yeah, there's so many Sony. We used to do a video game podcast, folks. Not Stefan and I was on another podcast.
I wasn't allowed.
And Well, yeah, it was. Yeah, you were banned. It was. We had a segment where it was like lost IP from like gaming, and Sony's graveyard is like I mean, I don't know. Let's hope Romero writes a movie about it so we can get that shit back, because there's like so many good games.
I have terrible news about George Romero.
Yeah.
He said he's not alive.
Oh my God, does Whitney Houston know?
Don't tell Michael Jackson.
Don't tell Michael Jackson. I love that joke. Yeah, everything else, like we've got some stuff playing on the channel. We started doing some Deadlock content. We tried doing some Minecraft content. I've kind of put a pause on the Minecraft stuff at the moment for a couple reasons that I'm not going to get into, but I think we should be back on track with that soon. Those videos take a boatload of time to make and edit, so they're not going to come out as frequently as the other stuff because it's super time consuming. Luckily, a friend of the show, McMurder, has agreed to help me. Which is why we're going to start getting those again. So thanks, bud. Yeah. And I think, merch update. The shirts came in. So like the trial shirts for us, they look pretty sick. I like them. I don't know what you think. I'm not like set on where the logo. So I did the heart logo, like on the left, like breast area. I'm thinking about moving it to the center chest or stomach and like blowing it up, making it bigger. But I don't know. I really liked it. I thought they came out really well. So I don't know. What are your thoughts? You like the merch?
Yeah, I liked it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, blowing it up, I'm worried about it. Like if you do center it, you definitely have to blow it up. And I know there's costs associated with that. But I think this is like a little like, here's a little bit. And then if someone sees you and friends wearing it at once, they'll be like, "Wait, what's that all about?" Anyway, and then
which happened to us, and
we'll happen to us,
and we'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah. So I think that's all I had for house creeping. I mean, do we want to do shout outs now too? Or?
Yeah, I guess so. Like as always, shout out to Rebel Revolver for our theme song. It rules. They have a lot of shows coming up for the back half of October here and into November. So please check their socials. They are on the Facebooks, the Instagrams. And then if you want to actually listen to the music, if you can't make it to a show or, just want to be supportive, they're also available on Spotify to stream.
And we also, every episode, put their link tree in the description. So you can actually click that and that'll take you to all their stuff. So if you're trying to find them, because I actually had trouble finding them once on Facebook. I don't know why, I went.
Because someone had chopped off your hands and you couldn't work your phone. I don't know. Like, what were you doing?
It was like it wasn't coming up in my search. I was like, I went to the podcast. I clicked the description because I put their link tree in. And I clicked it. I got right to it. I believe they have 1 or 2 shows coming up the weekend of the 25th or 26th. I know. I'm almost positive they have a show that's like in a horror themed, like from the posters looks sick. Like they look really cool. So definitely go check out their socials. Cause, I think they're playing with a couple other really fun bands, in the area. So,
I can actually tell you which day and which show if you want me to, because I know, the one on, the 25th, which is Friday. That one is going to be at, the Poetry Lounge in Millvale. Here in Pittsburgh, the outskirts of Pittsburgh. And then the one on Saturday is at Government Center, which is a venue.
And what's the one that's like a horror? It's like a horror themed kind of one.
It's the Government Center. My apologies. It's a record store / venue. I know the Poetry Lounge was the Poetry Lounge one had said something about having a costume contest.
Yeah, that's what it was.
So if the last bit of my costume comes when it's supposed to, I might go in full regalia, as it were.
Nice. He's going as the guy from I'm trying to think of the guy's name. The Resonator guy. Damn it! Why can't I think of that guy's
name? Dr. Pretorius?
No, the other one with the cool eyeball.
With Jeffrey Combs' character?
Yeah.
With his pineal gland?
Yeah, thank you. The pineal gland sticking out.
Yeah, Jeffrey Combs' character. What is his name? It was something dumb.
It was something dumb. Why can't I? God damn it. I own the internet. Hold on. I have the internet here.
Do you remember that the name of the movie wasn't The Resonator?
No. I just called him the Resonator guy because I couldn't think of the.
I know his name if you want to know.
Beyond.
It's Crawford Tillinghast.
Crawford. That's what it was. Yeah, it's From Beyond. I knew that. I was.
You can be forgiven. You can be forgiven for not remembering the name Crawford Tillinghast.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. Hey, whoever's like cracking their knuckles to get on social media, Twitter, and going to at the Dark Side Drive-In, or going to Instagram and going to it's the other one. It's at Dark Side Drive-In on Twitter, or cracking your knuckles and going to Instagram at the Dark Side Drive-In to comment or DM us. You should do that. Check us out. We have a lot of cool stuff going on. McMurder of McMurder the movie fame has started a fan group on Facebook. We had a Facebook, which basically turned into just our friends. So he's kind of spearheading that. So super.
I have terrible news about most
awesome,
of our fans. Shane.
No, but I mean, like it's like, but it just turned into like us just kind of ragging on each other through comments. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like our other groups.
The only thing that was really funny about the one that we ran is that both of us have access to the Dark Side Drive-In like Facebook account. So
I mean, you always would answer yourself. It was weird though.
Yeah, I would post as the podcast and then answer myself, but no one else would talk. I'm like, this is normal. This is what a normal person does.
This is how normal people work. Yeah, you should try like retweeting stuff or like Instagram posting. I don't know what the hell it's called. You feel like a psychopath.
Sharing it on your story, you mean?
Yeah, but like from like 3 accounts at once. It's kind of weird.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, also shout out to PC Riley, drummer of Rebel Revolver. He has a book out now. It all comes out in the wash. You can find it digitally. You can also order it from Amazon. So, and half of the proceeds go to the Pittsburgh Humane Society. So if you want to support a good cause and a good friend, definitely check it out. Yeah, we did it.
Hooray.
I did it. My part. I'm doing my part. I ain't doing fucking shit.
There you go. That's the bit.
Yeah. But hey, you know what? What could be next? I don't know if that's what you want to get into, but.
Yeah, I guess it's that time. Can you tell from my forlorn tone that I know exactly what time it is?
I know you can't even contain yourself to travel and venture to take on the terrible 20s, which is our 20 questions like, so we don't get sued by the owner of 20 questions, whoever that is.
The 20 questions family.
Yeah. So
wait, is it terrible 20s or 20? You said 20s.
Okay, well that was a hint. Anyways,
ooh,
so
as Bib Fortuna would say, Day One-a-Wunga.
Day One-a-Wunga. Yeah, you're gonna love this one. I'm excited. This is a good one. This is solid.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure you have a ton of questions, but I have a question for you, Steph.
Yeah, what is it?
Are you ready?
Well, Shane, I am the readiest I've ever been. TM me.
TM. Okay, let's do this.
All right. So, is this a movie within the last 10 years?
No.
I don't think how you're going to get tricksy with me, because I feel like you're trying to trick me. There's a ruse afoot. My spider sense is
the game is afoot.
Is this movie in black and white?
Yes. Yeah.
What do you mean? I don't feel like there could be a more black and white question than this.
Yes.
Is this movie silent?
Yes.
Okay. Is this movie directed by a German director?
Yes.
Does it feature a vampire?
No.
Oh, okay. Does it feature a somnambulist?
Maybe.
Say it.
Yes.
Is it directed by Robert Vine? Or Veen?
Yes.
Is it the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari?
It is the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. Hey, folks. I'm serious. This was probably one of the... Okay, hold on. So the color, in black and white, it is, but the still shots aren't. Like, they added color to the...
Yeah, so they would have individual frames that they
text.
could colorize, and they would also use tints like tinting for different colors. So I understand why you were kind of waffling on that, but at the end of the day...
It technically is a black and white.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so, again, I just saw this for the first time at... We did another Silent Sunday.
Oh, that was your first time seeing that?
Yeah. Dude, this is probably... I'm not kidding you. This is probably one of my favorite movies I've ever seen. Ever.
It is so good.
It is unbelievable how good this movie is. So, it's not on Tubi, which is, oh my god, the shitty version. There's another version of this, like a newer one. I don't know if it's shitty. It's not the 1920 version. It is on Tubi, so I got to figure out where I can watch this again. But this is probably one of the coolest things I've ever seen, ever. So, highly recommend trying to watch this. If you have a local theater or you're in Pittsburgh, don't miss out on these Silent Sundays. It's remarkable, the preservation and fidelity of these movies, and you should go support them. So, yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of they. I mean, I think that a lot of that has to do with the owner of the row house probably seeks out really good prints, because there are bad prints of some of these movies. Like, I've seen versions of like Nosferatu that make me want to get Nosferatu, if you get what I mean, and that means murdered by a vampire in my home. So like, there's definitely bad versions, but I feel like the row house always does their diligence and finds a good print, that has the right soundtrack and everything like that. But yeah, I didn't realize that was your first time seeing The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. That's such, like, the set design, it's like makes you feel like you're it's in another world. Like, it's crazy how much they can do with just like set design and the contrast of like the darks and the lights, and obviously Conrad Veidt as the somnambulist in this, like, what a performance he does. Like, that's so cool. He like barely seems like a person some of the time. Yeah, I love that movie. I have it on Blu-ray. That was like one of the funny things is this year I actually owned fewer of the movies they were showing on Blu-ray than I did last year, but that doesn't mean I don't own any of them on Blu-ray.
Right. So when we're talking about like set design and stuff, like I would think like Dr. Seuss kind of like surrealism.
Yeah, like the architecture doesn't make any sense, and like yeah. It's like, it's clearly artificial, but that's like the point of it, is to make it look like it's not right, that things are wrong. And like they play a lot with angles. It's just great. It's such a good movie.
It's so good. Like I'm serious. Like, I've watched a boatload of movies, and this is probably top 3 for me. So
yeah, if
not for the first. So
I would definitely put it up there. Yeah, it's definitely just one of those movies that, it's must watch. If you haven't seen it, find a way to see it. I was looking at where it was streaming, and it wasn't easy to come by. Like, I was seeing Apple TV, but I don't know if that's like I don't know about Apple TV. Is it like a marketplace, or is that one where you can watch them for free? It says here it's on Crackle, Hoopla, but I think you pay for Hoopla, Fubo, Plex. All these are places where you pay for it. It's on Screenbox, which I'm pretty sure is a service that if you pay for it, it would be free on there. So, but it's kind of a niche service. Sure. It says it's on the Roku channel. It's really hard to come by. But here's the thing. I also just have it on Blu-ray. So just call me up. Let's come to my house. Let's watch some Cabinet Dr. Caligari. So, all right, cool. That was a good one. I caught on pretty quickly to what your game was too. You showed your hand for me though, with when I pointed out that you said terrible 20s, and you're like, that's a hint. And it's like, oh, okay. So it's either the 2020s or the other one. The other one where movies
I won't forget what you've done for me here today.
Kind of wish you would. But yeah, the other one, for those who didn't want to know, when I said vampire, because the other German expressionist horror movie that is very famous is Nosferatu. Has head.
But we also saw Haunted Castle though, which is also German. So like you get 3 options.
Yeah. That's another F.W. Murnau one too. But that one was like
I think that would have tripped you up a little bit if you would have done the Murnau and I would have picked Haunted Castle. Would you have went straight to Nosferatu if you'd asked?
I would have gone straight to Nosferatu.
That's funny. I should have done that. Damn it.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you didn't. Because that movie's more like a whodunit with some like supernatural undertones and just mostly intrigue. Man, how many intrigue? What?
So you gotta love the intrigue.
Gotta love it. Love that Joker. But yeah, so how many questions did I get that in? So I had last 10 years, black and white, silent, German director, vampire, somnambulist, Robert Vine, and then Cabin of Dr. Caligari. So it was like 8. If I hadn't done the Robert Vine one, that I probably would have been there. Is it Vine or Vine? I don't know how to pronounce that last name.
It's Vine.
Is it Vine?
It's IE.
Okay, so Vine. Yeah, Robert Vine. So yeah, if I hadn't just wanted to strut around with my victory lap, I could have gotten it faster. I had to remember that we're keeping track of this. I'm going for the high score, but like golf style, so low score.
Yeah, definitely.
But you know what that also means, Shane?
What does it mean?
What does it mean? That's actually a really good segue into our 31 for 31 progress, sir.
Ooh, okay.
Considering that we were only like a week in when we last recorded, so
sure,
we have a lot of movies to go through right now.
We do.
Yeah, I am currently through 22. So I think, is that where you were? Or you were a little bit behind, but not by much.
I'm at 19,
okay.
So but I will actually probably be ahead of the game by Monday if my plans come together like Liam Neeson wants me to.
Hey, from the A team. All right. Do you want me to kick it off with my 8th?
Yeah.
So my 8th was VHS Beyond. I think I mentioned in the last intermission that I was going to do VHS Beyond, and I did. Mm-hmm. And I loved it. I actually was pleasantly surprised because VHS movies are always a little hit or miss. And I was really worried about the sci-fi bent of it, which is kind of like the beyond of it all. Because like I'm not really an alien person, but I think that honestly, I think there's only one segment that missed for me. So if you have Shudder, I think it's exclusively on Shudder right now. Like definitely check out VHS Beyond. Really good. Yeah,
and so for me, because I only had 3 last time we did this, so I have a boatload. I'm going to save a couple because we're going to talk. Obviously, we're doing the stuff for the show, so we have Mausoleum, 976 Evil. But I did watch all 3 of the original VHS movies. So VHS, the original 2 and 3. Viral, I hated 3.
Viral is bad. Yeah, Viral is... it's not viral like weird. It's really cool and everyone wants to repost it. It's viral like COVID. Like, ew.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I just feel like they lost what made those movies like interesting, which was like the being like, hey, we're in this house. Like, I don't know. I get the like ice cream truck mystique, I guess, but yeah, it just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
Some of the shorts were okay. Like I didn't hate all the shorts. It just, and I did look, it had a different director. So, which makes sense.
Well, they always have different directors that come in and do different segments, but no, Viral is definitely, that's the lowest point in the series. I don't think there's anyone out there who would argue that it wasn't. Yeah. Especially coming off of 1 and 2, which are almost unimpeachable masterpieces. Like both of them are, excellent films. Like I would say that all of the latter ones start to get a little uneven. So the latter ones go 94, 99, 85, and then now Beyond. Okay. Again, Beyond I think is probably a lot. I would say it's a step above the other 3. But I'd say that like 94 is pretty much every segment is a great one. 99, it's a little bit more uneven. 85 I loved 85, and then Beyond I loved. But I'm also just a sucker for anthology films, so I'm probably just gonna love them anyway.
Sure.
But no, I'm interrupting you while you're talking about your VHS experience. Dive in.
No, I mean that was pretty much it.
Oh,
I've seen 1 and 2.
Yeah.
3 was new for me, and I'll never watch it.
Definitely again, definitely live up to the hype that the other 2.
Yeah, that was a bit of a letdown. I was surprised because I heard it was bad, but I didn't know it was like that bad.
Yeah, I really should have prepared you for that, and I didn't do my due diligence. So that's going to cover a few of yours. You just want me to do my next one then?
Sure.
Or not. Let me, whatever you want, man.
Well, no, I mean, do you want to go through each one?
I'm going through each one.
Like in depth?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Just if it's really interesting, I'll talk about it a little bit more.
Yep, sure.
So my next one was Night of the Creeps, 1986. Tom Atkins. Nice. Everyone knows how I feel about Tom Atkins. He will thrill me. That's a joke from Night of the Creeps if everyone's watched it.
Sure is.
Kind of going to show my hand for a latter segment, but it came to Tubi and is already leaving Tubi. Get to Tubi now. Watch Night of the Creeps. Make them not get rid of it. I do have it on Blu-ray, so I'm going to be fine. But yeah, love Night of the Creeps. It's one of my favorite movies of all time because of it's just silly, but I love it. It's super fun. So yeah, there you go. Night of the Creeps.
So like a lot of the other movies that I've seen on here or we're watching for either this episode or for future stuff. So I don't want to get into a lot of them because we're going to talk about them a lot later. But I will say like we did do the Silent Sunday and there were, I think I picked up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I picked up 5 from just that one day. And there are some really cool silent films like Cat and Canary is very good. We saw Lost World. Lost World is pretty comical. I don't really classify that as a horror movie, but I think for the time it probably was a little frightening because of the giant dinosaurs.
What are you talking about? Everyone loves it when a brontosaurus ravages the city of London.
Well, dude, you know what I forgot happened in that movie, and I'm pretty sure. So I've seen Lost World on television, and there is a shorter cut. There's like a 60-minute cut, and they cut out a lot of the dinosaur fights, like when they're on the plateau, which is kind of weird. And I could be wrong about this, but there was a scene where the T-Rex and the Brontosaurus are fighting, and they both like look at each other, and they do like they zoom in on each of the like dinosaur's face,
and they make out.
And but they're like their mouth is moving, like they're talking, and it's like shot like that. And I'm like, I almost expected them to have like dialogue cards, which I thought would have been hilarious.
Isn't because then, they're like snarling or something like that? Like their lips move?
It is.
Yeah, I think it's just a showcase for like the claymation qualities of the work.
It was. But I think it'd be funny if it just like showed up and it was like snarl. Or just, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But, and then the Allosaurus like knocks the Brontosaurus off the cliff. And it had like that meme where the gorilla have wife make mad, throw wife, now alone, sad. It like had like that moment where it was like remorseful for pushing its friend. Yeah, regret. That's it. Regret. Like pushing its friend off of a cliff. And I'm like, okay, that was pretty funny. But yeah, no, yeah. So we definitely got some bangers from Silent Sunday. So
yeah, I'm not even on that week yet. So
I know.
Do you just want me to rush through the rest of my week? I can just do it fast and then let you do.
Well, that was it for me. Like the rest I don't want to talk about because we're gonna do stuff on the show. So like, I don't want to waste like.
Okay, so I'll just skip over the ones that we're gonna do today.
Yeah.
Okay, so next up was The Children, a 1980 low-budget movie about a busload of children that runs into some toxic gas, and they become zombies microwave people. That's great.
So cool.
It's not very good.
What?
But it's hilarious. So get a group together, watch The Children today. But if you don't have a group, it's just going to be like, I'm not sure why I'm doing this. I don't think I've Snapchatted more clips of a movie this year than I have clips of people and The Children just repeating the same line over and over again. It's like, that child's going to kill you. It's walking you with its hands up. It's all pale. It's got dark rings around sides. That's a murder kid. Get out of there.
Fuck this movie. This movie looks and sounds awesome. This would be something I would get sucked into by accident.
It would be fun to watch with a lot of people, or if you're like me, alone, but like pretending people are with you. Next up is Tales of Halloween from 2015, another horror anthology movie. This one is really hit or miss, but there's like, I think 10 segments over the course of its runtime. So even if one sucks, it kind of like doesn't really overstay its welcome. And there's a couple in there that are just like magnificent. One is super funny that I don't want to spoil it because like the twist is kind of silly, but also fun. Mausoleum, obviously we did that for the podcast. Don't need to get into that. Next one is going to be one we're going to talk about today. Next up, Slither, the James Gunn's directorial debut. Yeah. Nathan Fillion, Elizabeth Banks. You got yourself some Michael Rooker up in there. A very small role with Jenna Fisher. Just kind of a funny throwback to like 80s, even 50s, like sort of like goofy horror. So basically it's a lot like Night of the Creeps. There's an alien slug that's turning people into zombies, but it's like kind of more tongue in cheek than even Night of the Creeps is. So it's super fun. Definitely recommend it. Back to now we're here on this current week. So, I watched Bad Moon, the 1996 werewolf movie that you might have seen videos of it online. It's the one where the German Shepherd attacks the werewolf and it keeps like looking like it's killing this dog and the dog keeps coming back and attacking it. There's been some like clips of it. It's like is the dog dead and the dog's back? If you're afraid if this is going to be a movie where the dog dies, it does not. The dog wins. The dog wins against the werewolf, Shane.
Finally.
It's ridiculous, but awesome. I did Immaculate, the Sydney Sweeney movie where she's a nun who goes to Italy to live in a convent and then gets either supernaturally or divinely impregnated. So one of, 3 major supernatural impregnation movies this year? This being, the First Omen and then Apartment 7A.
Yeah, there's a theme.
Yeah, there is. Stay tuned for that. Stay peeled, I mean. I did Mutant from 1984. It's basically a story of like a couple of brothers that are doing like a road trip and they stop at a small town in the South where people are mysteriously being turned into vampire zombies that have armholes that open up and bite them. Kind of goofy, but it's sort of fun too.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's more fun than it seems. Now here are the Silent Sunday ones. Haunted Castle, Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, Nosferatu. You got it. And then the last one is going to be another one we're going to talk about today. So yeah, that gets me caught up to at least to Monday of this week. Yeah. Because I think my next one would have been 976 Evil. It's like, wait a second. We're already going to talk about that too. So I'm doing a good job keeping my pace. I have a couple that I didn't put on my list because they ended up being a little bit too weird.
You don't want to admit that you saw them?
No, yeah, a little bit. Yeah. There's one that was like, hold on. Let me make sure I get it right. Auntie Lee's Meat Pies. So I saw it online because it had one of the dudes from Demon Wind in it. And I was like, oh man, I'm going to watch this one. And I started watching it. I'm like, I don't think this is going the way that I was hoping it would go. So I kind of nixed that thing. It's on Tubi if you want to watch it. Don't recommend it. And then what was the other one? It was another werewolf one, but it was like really
Pat Morita's
Werewolf Castle. Or no, Werewolf. Is it Werewolf Castle? I don't know. It's like a really low budget werewolf movie. And I was just like, these werewolves look terrible. These werewolves look fake. I know what real werewolves look like since they're naturally occurring.
Yeah, how couldn't they be?
Sorry, were you saying something about that Auntie Lee's Meat Pies thing?
Yeah, isn't Pat Morita in that movie?
Oh, yes. Yes. Oh, yeah, I glanced straight over that. Yeah, Pat Morita is like the sheriff, and he's Pat Morita, but he has like a southern accent. It's so funny. It actually is kind of funny, but the problem was it wasn't scary. So I was like, this doesn't really count as a 31 for 31 movie. It's just more silly.
Got it.
Yeah. And I'm someone who has a high threshold for silly. That was like just a bridge too far. But all right, that was all I had for the 31 for 31 progress. Shall we move on, sir?
We shall.
Well, will you embrace me? And we shall take a jaunt through a font of haunts.
Bum, 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 bum.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of funny music I could put behind this.
It's like you and me and me and you and 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 you and me and you. I don't know the lyrics to the song.
So I feel like we're not like known enough that I could get away with taking that song.
Yeah, also I did all the lyrics wrong. Well, I mean, some of them were right, but then they were just the same ones over and over again.
You are correct. Some of them were correct.
Some of them were right.
Yeah.
So, just to let the viewers, listeners know, a jaunt through a font of haunts is where we decided to do like more of a Halloween-y themed bit and talk about a series of films that are kind of centered around a haunted attraction. So either there is a haunted attraction at the core of it, or visiting a haunted attraction is part of the plot. So I guess I just kind of repeated myself. That's the same thing. Yeah. Haunted attraction is part of it. Damn it. I don't know why I did the or. Why did I do that or?
Or attractive haunts.
So do you, wait, what? Okay. So do you want me to dip into our first one that we're going to cover?
Yeah.
So the first one we decided to do was The Houses October Built, the 2014 found footage movie that actually had a 2011, I want to say, documentary version, and some of the documentary footage is actually reused in this movie. The character, or the writer and director, is Bobby Rowe. He also plays a character named Bobby, and you're going to notice that there's going to be a little bit of a theme here. So there's Brandy Schaefer, who plays Brandy, Zach Andrews, who plays Zach, Mikey Rowe plays Mikey, Jeff Larson, who plays Jeff. There's two actresses that I wanted to point out. One is Chloe Charlotte Alexandra Crampton and Angelica Lee Van Horn, who are both credited as playing Porcelain, who's a very notable figure in the movie. And I figured we will bring up the actresses who played the character. So I guess I'll kick off kind of describing what's going on in The Houses October Built. It's a found footage movie where an insufferable group of barely able to tell who they are people get into an RV to travel across the country in order to see a bunch of local haunted attractions at different areas of the U.S.
Mainly Texas.
They're mainly in the South, Texas to Louisiana corridor, seems like.
Yep.
So basically they're just traveling via RV. I don't think they're all insufferable. I think Mikey is the most insufferable one. He's the one that won't shut up all the time.
Right, but it has the best instincts, which is weird.
Yeah, it is very weird that he also, like, once things started to go down, it's like probably because he's already been in trouble before. But the whole idea that they're kind of insufferable works in the movie's favor, because as they go around these haunted attractions with their cameras, interviewing employees, they're kind of being obnoxious and being annoying, and it sort of factors into why they attract the ire of the employees of it, to the point where they're basically starting to be stalked over the course of hundreds of miles by the same group of like haunt employees. So yeah, it's an interesting movie. I think that there were some really effective scenes, like ones involving Porcelain, who I mentioned. There's like a clown guy that like follows them a bunch of times. It's pretty crazy. And I do think there's some scenes that wouldn't work if it wasn't a found footage movie. It really depends on that like fixed perspective. I don't know. I feel like I'm talking too much. This is more your suggestions. So if you wanted to bring anything up.
Yeah, I think what's really important is like, I feel like this movie really kicked off a genre of like haunted house kind of movies. And if people remember, this was really big when, and I don't know if this caused this to happen, or if this was just a byproduct or just kind of was around at that time. But remember when all those clowns were just showing up? Remember? People were just dressing up as clowns and just showing up and standing on the road, or they would be in like the back of people's pictures. This had that vibe. And again, I can't remember if this spawned that or if this was like kind of just in tandem with that. It was very strange. There was like a clown phenomenon around the time this movie came out. And, I think what's really interesting about this found footage, because like they do such a good job at splicing in the content from the first one that at some points you're like, is this actually like fake? Like, you know what I mean? And then it kind of gets to where you can, it switches. There's like a point. But I will say, I love this movie. I loved this movie. I still do like it. God, the first like 35 minutes of this movie are so boring.
It's not even that it's boring. It's that it's chaotic. It's really hard to figure out who your characters are. Right. It's really hard to, and they're all in like the beginning is when you're establishing that they're kind of shitty. So they're going to start like running afoul of the employees of this place. I'm not sure how I feel about like the implication that they hire real murderers to work at these places. I'm like, okay, like just because someone likes to dress up and play a character, like that feels a little weird to me, but like that's the plot they wanted to go with, and that's fine. It works, and for like the film's sake,
it does, yeah.
And there's definitely a cinema verite style to it, like that. It is they did incorporate things from the real documentary. And they did include real haunted attractions while they're doing it and real interviews with people from them. So the problem is it feels like part of the movie's thesis is that people didn't like being interviewed, but in real life people did. They were like, hell yeah, I'll talk to you. Why not? Like it's kind of a funny juxtaposition there. But I think that's why they had to play up on the obnoxiousness of them. It's like they had to do things that would like invoke the ire of the Blue Skeleton crew. That is the one who is like the supposed haunted attraction they're looking for as part of the movie. So, but man, that scene when Porcelain gets into their RV and they just let her in there, and she just
that was solid.
Like no, 0% chance that's happening.
The scene where like the RV stopped and they turned the lights on. And there's just like clowns everywhere.
Oh yeah, like just a ton of people there. That was really good.
And then they're just gone. Yeah, there were some effective scenes that I thought were really cool.
No, for sure, for sure. Like, and that's another thing I was saying is like really leveraging the fixed position of the camera to play up on that idea. And like when people are like on the roof of the RV and they can hear them but they can't see them. Yeah, it was effective. There's plenty of effective moments. And I'm curious about the second one now because there is a second one.
There's 3.
What?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's 3 of them.
I don't believe you.
Yeah, let me look real quick. Yeah, there's a third one.
Do you keep wanting to say that October built?
Yeah, why do I keep doing that?
Basically in the English language, this is understood that in words like that. It says the house is October built is grammatically correct because there's an understood that. They are the houses that October built. So you keep wanting to say it, but it's not there.
Sure. There's only 2. I thought there was a third one. I could have swore there's a third one. Maybe it's like in production.
Maybe.
But yeah, no, there's 2. Yeah, but I think it's a good segue into the next one that we wanted to talk about, right?
Oh, is it another found footage one, Shane?
It is another found footage one. It's called Hell House LLC.
2015.
So what's do you know anything about the director or anything like that? Like it seemed pretty interesting.
Yeah, the writer director of this one was Stephen Cognetti. Cast is Ryan Jennifer Jones is Sarah Havel, Danny Bellini is Alex Taylor, Gore Abrams is Paul O'Keefe, Jared Hacker is Tony Prescott, Adam Schneider is Andrew McNamara. So yeah, there's not a lot of credits on any of these folks really, which kind of helps with the whole found footage style of these kinds of movies.
Yeah, and I think that like when you compare these two, I think you see a very different style with the same kind of premise, right? They did a great job, even though it was a little chaotic because of the found footage, because it's mainly like the beginning of the movie is kind of through the eyes of one of the characters, because he's like constantly filming, and like the whole premise of it is that this group runs a haunted house company where every year they'll put on like a haunted house attraction in New York City, and for some reason they chose to purchase and move their operations to what they claim is outside of the city in New York. It was actually filmed in eastern Pennsylvania, or central Pennsylvania. And the whole time, like I don't want to spoil too much because I feel like this movie, and there's actually 4 of them. So, and the first 3 go hand in hand, like they're all like concurrent. So I really don't want to spoil anything.
The first 4 of them are the same director, right? Like Stephen Cognetti did the second one.
Who did the 4th one?
The Abaddon Hotel. The third one, Lake of Fire, and then Origins, the Carmichael Manor. It looks like he did. He wrote and directed all of those.
He did. Correct. Yeah, and so the whole premise, like, and again, I'm without spoiling it, there's something wrong with this hotel that they purchase.
Well, that's why they get it, because it's like notoriously actually haunted.
Yeah. And they're like, yeah, we don't have to pay as much because everything's already kind of set up. It's already creepy. There's some occult stuff going on. And quickly, when I say quickly, I mean, very soon in the movie, they go through, like, things start happening to them. And this is probably one of the best found footage movies, in my opinion. Probably next to VHS, really, for me, because they really play into, like, things are, and they don't always even notice it. Like, things are happening behind them or in the background.
They'll turn off a light and there's a figure in the shadows behind them. Oh,
right. This movie is creepy.
It's very creepy.
Yeah. The ending to this movie is super cool. It's not really a cliffhanger. It's a pretty interesting twist. That directly leads right into the second one. So if you watch this and you're really into this, just do yourself a favor, just watch the second one right away. The gap between the second and third one is a little different. So I don't think you have to, I don't think you should watch it back to back. You don't have to, right? But yeah, like I said, I'm trying not to spoil it too much. But I think this is probably, again, one of the creepiest. There's just some scenes in here that are so unsettling. Like, some of the jump scares actually got me. Like, I had to watch this during the day. It's like, did a couple good jumps. Also has clowns in it. So again, it's 2015. We're like full clown era at this point.
The clown in this one is especially effective because he's fake. He's a dummy clown. They just leave places and then he'll suddenly be other places. And so there's a couple things I want to bring up. I'll try not to spoil anything.
I mean, should we spoil it?
No. I think you're right not to.
Yeah.
It's like, it's old, but it's good. I think that
it's good.
The less you prepare people for it, the better. But there's two things about this. Like, number one is as a juxtaposition to the houses October built. This one is very much not chaotic. There's a very strong sense of, well, number one, there's a framing device of an actual documentary news thing going on for the event. Mm-hmm. And then when you get to, like, the crew, you get to know each of them as they're going to the plays, as they're talking about what they're doing. So, like, there's a very strong sense of place in this, which I think works really, really well for it. And the other thing, oh man, what was I going to say? That'd be really crazy if I just forgot my second point. It was
about the chaos.
No, because that's a juxtaposition to the other one. So I really like that sense of place. But I think what I was going to say is, throughout the movie, the people are living in this supposedly haunted place where they are also making a haunted attraction. Ridiculous. I would rather be lit on fire than live in that place. That's ridiculous to me that they're living there through the duration of, like, them setting up their attraction and stuff like that.
And like some of these movies that do this, like it like doesn't pay off well, or like, I don't know, like, okay, so we'll pick on Grave Encounters a little bit. So, like, they're not living at this place, but, like, the fact that, like, these group of young, I mean, they're young, they're like in their 20s or maybe 30s. The fact that they have to live there, like, as a plot device pays off. It's, and maybe you don't even get it the first time you watch this one, but when you watch the second and third one, it even is more into, like, the twist that is presented, because you don't even know what's going on in the first one unless you watch the second and third one, which I love. I actually kind of like that. I love that. And, because there are some things that they even allude to. So this, Stephen, was it Cognetti? Did a great job at leaving breadcrumbs of things that you don't even know is important until you watch the other movies. And I love that. Like, he had the whole plan in mind, which I like when filmmakers have an entire, like, arc planned out and then they break it up into pieces like this and only offer certain, like, exposition or certain, like, story tidbits later on, right? because it makes those moments super impactful when you like go back and rewatch or think about it. So I loved it. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's just one of the things that I loved about it is, because of like the real sense of place that it has, that like the house is as much of a part of it as anything else. Like even like on rewatches, noticing like when the first, like the movie opens with, and then that one video, and then they show a video of people trying to go in, and you see all these places. Like, oh, I remember the gang getting these set up and going around and stuff like that. And then like some of the, like because it's a found footage movie, you'd think, oh, they can't do much with music, can they? Yeah, they can. Diegetic music, that is.
Yep.
So they definitely do that. Yeah, man, that clown, that was devastating to me. I get the willies just thinking about it.
The girl got me the most, I think.
That, yeah. That, yes. There's a lot of things that.
This movie was actually, I'm seriously, like some of the movies we do for the stuff isn't actually, they're not scary, right? I guess at some point in time they could have been, or maybe to some people they are. So it's all relative. This one's legitimately disturbing. And not in like a gore way, like there aren't too many like, there's some scenes that are pretty rough, but not rough, but you know what I mean. But this definitely has such a creepy vibe to it. It's so good.
Yeah, but that's
I should probably stop talking about.
No, but that's what what I appreciate about this movie.
Yeah,
when contrasting it to something like,
sure,
the houses October built, because the projects are so different. Like the idea of this group going from haunted attraction to haunted attraction to find that special one or whatever, like they don't have a consistent geography other than their RV. So they have to make tension in a different way. That's something like Hell House LLC is like, they're here and each room has its own story, its own thing, its own possibility. And how the rooms link together. So when someone's going one way, where someone else is going. It's like, yeah, it's interesting how the Abaddon Hotel from, Hell House LLC kind of becomes its own figure in the movie. But yeah, we can move on to our third and final one, unless you wanted to talk about some of the sequels. Well, you kind of covered the sequels a little bit, just saying that they lay the groundwork.
The things I'll say about the sequel, and this is my only criticism, is that then this is a plot point, so it's not like a total negative, but they kind of did the same thing with 3 as they did in 2, and it's just a little like, I don't know, it was just kind of like, we get it, like, you know what I mean, like I wish they would have done something a little different, but I don't know how you could, because again, it's like a plot point that I don't want to ruin. So but like if you're looking at it like, objectively, like they kind of 2 and 3 are very similar. Like they probably could have been one longer movie, but yeah.
All right. Do you want to move on to the next one?
Sure do.
So the third and final of the what is it? What did I call this thing? Oh, the Jaunt through a font of haunts is one that's actually called Haunt. It is called Haunt. It is from 2019. It is not found footage, but it's still about a haunted attraction. So thematically still works, guys. Don't criticize us, because the first one was found footage, but didn't involve supernatural stuff, presumably. The second one was found footage, but it was focused on one haunted attraction. Now we're going to one that is not found footage, but is about an attraction. So, boom. Yeah. All makes sense. The writers and directors of this are Scott Beck and Brian Woods. They have a couple more pretty high-profile writing projects. I think they're writers on A Quiet Place, and they're also writers on the upcoming Heretic, with I can't remember who the actors are in that, so I shouldn't have said that. But yeah, it's an upcoming movie this year. Sorry, man. I mixed it up with Azrael with Samara Weaving, which is why I was like, oh, it's Samara Weaving. I was like, no, that is not Samara Weaving. So, my bad.
Sovereign. Sovereign is the name of the movie.
What movie?
The upcoming one.
No, it's called Heretic.
Oh, I thought sorry. Did that already release?
I don't know. It's definitely Heretic, but the one with Samara Weaving is called Azrael, so it's a different one.
You're right. Hugh Grant's in this. I think this is out.
Is it out?
Oh my God.
I thought it was coming out soon. It's like the one with the girls that are like...
This movie looks so good.
They're like door-to-door...
They're Mormons, or right?
Like some kind of religious door-to-door people.
Yeah.
And they go to his house and he's like, come on in. I'll listen to you. And instead he's going to mess with them. Yeah. So these guys are the writers on that.
So good.
Back to Haunt, though.
Sense.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does make sense that would be a movie that they would have written. Some of the actors here, Katie Stevens as Harper, Will Britton as Nathan, Lauren McLean as Bailey, Andrew Caldwell as Evan, Shazi Raja as Angela, Shulia Helford as Mallory. I think I put like Chase Morrow as Ghost, and Justin Markson as Clown, and Damien Maffei as Devil. I guess I'll do Samuel Hunt as Sam, because Sam gets a minute of screen time in this thing.
Sure does.
Yeah. So basically, the premise of Haunt is it kind of starts out really heavy. So our main character Harper is at home, like on Halloween night or something similar to Halloween night, close enough to it. Her friends are getting ready to go out, and she doesn't want to go because she's been abused by her boyfriend. So yeah, just like nice and light, keeping it light and breezy. She's like doesn't want to go. Then her boyfriend like drives by and throws a pumpkin at their door, and she's like, well, then I'll go out with you ladies. They go out, meet a couple of guys, and they're like looking for something to do, and they're trying to find a haunted attraction they'd heard about, and then they finally get to it, and it is really scary. They make them sign a waiver. They make them turn in their cell phones into a lockbox. So always a good sign when you're going to a haunted attraction if they have you surrender your cell phones. Long story short is when you go into this place, you're going to actually be murdered and, in other ways, like, violently attacked. So it's not really the most subtle of movies. I think that some of the fun parts are figuring out like what's going on. So I don't want to really spoil it very much. Just that like each of these people have, a specific gimmick. There's like Ghost, there's Devil. I brought it up there's Clown, who's like the leader. I think this is vampire, zombie, witch. Oh, witch. Don't even get me started on witch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically it's like oscillates between kind of campy, corny haunted house. And then one where you reach your hand in and they're going to slice your arm up with razor blades. So that's the kind of stuff you can expect to find here. Probably one of the worst bits was when they're going through that spider room. It's like mostly fake spiders, but also some real spiders. It's like, why? Why would you put these real spiders in here? So yeah, without giving up too much away, one of the main points is Harper is convinced that her ex-boyfriend, Sam, the abusive one, is in the house working it as the devil. He is not. There's something way more sinister going on with these people. But they are definitely straight up ready to murder. So I talked about it a lot. What were your thoughts on this? Because I don't think you'd seen this before I suggested it, right?
I have not. And I actually just watched this like recently today. Again. So like when stacked up to like for me, like I didn't know much going into this, so I was expecting like another Hell House LLC or like the house is October built. That was hard to not say that. It was. So like if initially I was like kind of not, I was like I'm into it. It was kind of like I got a lot of Saw vibes initially, and just probably more from how it was filmed than the subject matter, right? So it was just like the really dark, like weird shades, the Rube Goldberg type machinery like that was around. But that is a haunted house. I did like. So here's one thing I didn't understand about the movie, and I guess we don't really want to spoil it, but there was a room that she went into.
Yes.
So were they targeted?
That
for this?
Yes, that is one of the questions about the movie. About that. Like, were her memories faulty? Or is it like a coincidence? Because it was still kind of a generic room. But yes, like, yeah, one of the rooms she goes into is like very much like a room from her past. And it's like, how exactly? But also, how would they have targeted her? They didn't know that she would be like trying to go out with her friends to avoid her, abusive ex-boyfriend. And then they'd stumble upon the haunted attraction and stuff. There's a lot of things about it that don't quite hold up to scrutiny. Like the idea that this would be a sustainable business model.
Well, I don't think it was.
Well, no, because there were like, oh yeah, I guess they were talking in the beginning about how there were like online reviews, and they talked about how they donated part of the proceeds to something. But I guess just the people who work it could have been posting those things online.
Yeah, it's like the Asian factories that all have like 5-star, like 1,000 5-star reviews or whatever.
So they just hired people to do this. Yeah, they just
it's all AI or something.
No, but there's like some of these kills though were gruesome in this movie, man.
The hammer, dude, Jesus.
Yeah, so
dude,
there's one character that likes to use a hammer, and he likes to use the claw part to Mitch. And he likes to use the claw part to like rip people's faces off. Ugh, gruesome.
Yeah, he like removes the top part of their like face. It's a lot. And
because isn't he the one who said, "Why don't you take off your mask?" like a bunch of times, right?
Yeah, he's like, "You want to know my name?"
Because they keep asking him to take off his mask, and he's like,
"Sure.
Why don't you take off your mask?"
Yeah, so I did really like some of the kills in here were pretty wild. I wasn't a fan. I didn't like I guess because it is the trope, right? That they have to fake murder your friend, or like you think they murdered, or did they or didn't they murder? And I think the most effective thing they did was when shit was going south. They went and found the guy, and I believe it's Nathan was like, "Hey, dude, we have someone that's hurt," and he's like, "Wait, someone's hurt?" Yeah, like hold on, let's go. And then and that was that Mitch character who ended up being like the psycho with the hammer.
The idea that some of them would play along with oh no, I have to help you guys.
The pressure valve release from that scene, and I know I'm trying not to. I hate not spoiling. I hate doing that to people, but the pressure release from that scene to then rip it right back in. I mean, like you knew, like you kind of knew, like at some point, like I don't know. So it was. I actually really liked the movie. Once I got over, again, I'm like, great, this is like another fucking Saw clone. And then when it kind of started getting a little more interesting, like the ending was really good.
Yeah, I super don't see the Saw comparison, if I'm being honest.
I think for me it was the
industrial setting because it was like an old warehouse.
Yes.
Okay.
And the coloring used, I don't know if it was like a filter or like just the lighting, just had that weird like dingy, wet New York vibe, and I just was like, oh my god, great! It's gonna be one of these like fucking body horror kind of films, where they just like an Eli Roth kind of thing, like a Hostel. Probably more Hostel vibes maybe than Saw. But it was just like, it was, like I said, it wasn't the subject matter. It was more of the tone maybe, or again, like how it was shot. And then it quickly got away from that. So, which I was happy with.
Yeah. All right, cool. Haunt. I'll never get over the pitchfork kill. That was so brutal. I was not ready for it at all.
Which one?
Which one? No, the one where they're trying to go slowly through a narrow corridor, and then suddenly a dude walks in. He's like, "Well, pitchfork time." I was like, "Oh, she got away." No, it's like, okay, never mind. That was
Pitchfork number 2 was pretty rough.
Yeah, but that was more emotionally damaging than like, oh, I didn't expect this to go like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still think the claw hammer is like on a different level.
Yeah, dude, because
that was brutal.
He tries to do it again, and you get the feeling it's a pattern with him. Like, oh, yeah.
Like intruder level gruesome.
Yeah, that was gross. Yeah, there you go. Our third-ish, because we talked about multiple entries in the other series, our third-ish example of a jaunt through a font of haunts is concluded. So there you go. Some seasonally appropriate, more recent horror movies. For those of you that don't like that we talk about 80s movies so much, man, why don't you cry about it? So there you go.
Yeah,
This is going to alienate some listeners.
Sure.
Well, Shane, do you know what's our next and final final segment here?
Insert funeral music.
Bum, 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 bum. Oh, wait, no, that's the wrong thing.
Can you do Pachelbel's Canon in D?
In D's nuts? No, I don't know what that is.
That's funny. That's like the other like wedding song.
There's another wedding song?
Yeah. That's the bride coming down the aisle. So Canon and D is usually like the song it's like playing, everyone like the string quartet.
Wait, they're like dum da da dum da 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 dum. That's what that is?
Yeah.
I thought that was like Vivaldi or something.
I'm pretty sure it's Canon and D.
Well, I don't know. Do I look like someone who knows music?
Because I could be wrong and I don't want the internet to kill me. I watched movies where they follow people. Oh, okay. Can we just talk about something real quick?
Sure.
Anyways, yeah, so let's talk about something real quick. I lived in Texas, and one of the horror attractions that they filmed at for the original documentary was I believe was in Getzendanger Park, which was in the town I lived in, and they have a horror village. So most of September and October they do like a horror themed amusement park, and it's fucking awesome. The people in houses October built were from Tyler, Texas, which is east of Dallas. I like the geographical mapping of where they went in this movie is I think it's almost impossible that they were able to cover this much ground. Because at one point they go the whole way up towards Amarillo where they go to that strip club, which like is super, super far from where they were. So you're talking like 7, 8, 9 hours in a day driving minimum. So it was just kind of weird. And then to get from Amarillo the whole way down over to Baton Rouge, Louisiana is ridiculous, dude. I was kind of like taken back because like when I saw this initially, I think it's 12 hours to get from where they were at the strip club to Baton Rouge.
Put it in the IMDb goose, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, it's just weird. Like, and then they literally drove past where they originally were. It was just super. It didn't make a lot of sense, but yeah. So shout out to anyone that lives in Waxahachie, Texas, south of Dallas. If you do live in the Texas area and you like horror stuff, Getzendanger Park is sick. That horror attraction was so much fun. They have a bunch of haunted houses. Like it's kind of like Fright Nights in Kennywood, but like on steroids. So yeah,
I feel like steroids would help them.
So what's leaving Tubi?
All right, time for Tubituaries.
Tubituaries.
There's actually not a lot that has changed since the last time we did it because a lot of them are the end of the month. We have the They Live, Village of the Damned, the Fright Night remake, which I think I brought up, Rob Zombie's Halloween for both of the Rob Zombie fans. But no, the really important one is Night of the Creeps is leaving. So sure. I'm devastated by that. Well, no, most of these are ones I brought up last time. Remember, like The Evil Dead.
No, except for the two Rob Zombie fans.
Yeah. Also, Halloween 2 by Rob Zombie's leaving too. So watch out. And so is 3 from Hell, but like also not good. But no, remember last time I talked about how The Evil Dead and Ghosts of Mars is leaving, and they're still on the list right now. So it's kind of hard to tell which one of these are like recent additions to the leaving thing. I feel like John Dies at the End is leaving sooner than I expected. The Tingler is leaving. Tales from the Hood, I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, The Green Mile, Shawshank Redemption, The Creeping Flesh. So there's definitely a lot of stuff like dipping out of there. I did just talk at length, or not really at length, but briefly about Slither. It's leaving, so check out Slither if you want to see it before it either stays or goes. Yeah, but I think that about covers it. I talked last time about all the Lake Placid series leaving, so I feel like not a lot has changed since last time. So I'll kind of leave it at that. I won't mention ones like The Last House on the Left remake or The Hills Have Eyes 2 remake, which are both movies that have thematically problematic items to them.
Sure do.
Yeah. Oh, Mighty Joe Young is leaving. Oh no. So there you go. I won't get into it more than that. We've already run a little longer than we would like to on these. I think the most important thing is Night of the Creeps is leaving. Get online. Watch Night of the Creeps. Pause this podcast and go watch Night of the Creeps. Stop them from getting rid of it. So we can do it on the podcast.
Good ending, right?
Yes. So Night of the Creeps actually has 2 endings. There's a theatrical version and like the director's cut version, and they actually have the director's cut version, which is the one I prefer. So perfect movie. Better than Citizens Kane or Citizens. Better than Citizen Kane raves Stefan.
Citizens that Kane.
Citizens Kane is what if you have more than one. Like if you have like it's like attorneys general. The Citizens Kane.
Citizens Kanes.
No, that's not how that works. That's not how pluralizing things like that works.
What if it's multiple citizens and they have different canes that they walk with?
That's just a Simpsons joke. The one where Lisa's like, it's the Kane from Citizen Kane. Wait, there's not a Kane in Citizen Kane. I had my roommate in grad school used to make that joke all the time. He'd come in and be like, it's the Kane from Citizen Kane. Wait, there's not a Kane in Citizen Kane. That's a good callback to my grad school roommate.
My youth.
Yeah, from 12 years ago. Oh, my back just started to hurt. Ugh.
So, Tubi, so fans of Tubi, they have done a terrific job at adding some new categories for October. They actually have a Terror on Tubi Monster Mayhem, which is so Swamp Thing's on there, Godzilla, Cyclops, Zombies, Blackwater Feast. I mean, it's great. They also have some just wild, like horror comedy movies, and one of them is here's Snake Out of Compton. So
run
if you need to watch that.
Yeah, run to your device to watch that. No, I do appreciate all of their like Tubi. What is it? Tubi Terrors or something they call it, or Terror on Tubi.
Yeah,
yeah. They have like just these like different categories of just horror movies. It's a really cool. Yeah, I do like that.
Yeah, I might watch Swamp Thing tonight.
Well, Wesley Craven will appreciate it.
Yeah, it's
directed by Wes Craven. Yep. That's why I said that.
Didn't understand that. Thanks.
It has Adrian Barbeau in it, and like what's the name of the guy who played Swamp Thing? Like Dick Durock or something like that. What, are you just gonna leave me on red?
Yep, it is Dick Durock. Yep, you're right.
Were you just surprised that I would know off the top of my head the name of the actor who plays?
No, I just want to check it. Yeah, right.
It's like
more impressed by the fact that you
pull off the dome.
You made it sound like a question.
Dick Durock.
Yeah. It's not many times you bring out the old Dick Durock flex. So,
well, I know he played Swamp Thing again in Return of Swamp Thing, which I think had Heather Locklear in it. Adrian Barbeau was not welcomed back for more films, and by that I mean they probably couldn't afford her for the next one, because I know Wes Craven didn't come back for it either. Well, this has been our Swamp Thing podcast.
Yeah,
but no, are you ready for me to call Dave over to close us out?
I guess.
Oh no.
He's being kind of weird.
Yeah. He's been I've been trying to stop his screen time, so I don't let him.
That's what.
I don't let him.
That's why he's cranky.
Yeah, I don't let him on his phone anymore. It's not even actually a phone. It's like an old iPod Touch from like 2001.
Oh no!
No, that's too old. Whenever iPod Touches were around, I don't know, was I like 2012?
It's a Zoom. It's not even like an iPod.
Yeah, I gave him a Zune. Yeah, but he doesn't know because he doesn't have eyes. And he also doesn't have fingertips, so he can't use it anyway because he can't pick up any haptic signals from him. What'd you say? Oh, nothing. Darkside Dave, get over here. We're going to close out the show. Oh, fine. I still haven't beaten Great Ape Vegeta. And also I broke one of your controllers. Dave, those are really expensive now. I can't believe you did that. Well, I can help you pay if you accept bones. I don't accept bones, Dave, but that's fine. Can you close this out, please? Yes! This has been another episode of the Dark Side Drive-In Intermission. You now know why I said haunt enjoying during my opening. I tried to keep it thematically consistent with a portion of the episode. That's how I earn the big bones, like Brontosaurus bones. But anyway, now we shall say goodbye to your hosts, Stefan. Well, thanks, Dave. Even though you broke one of my controllers, I'll forgive you. You haven't been in this realm for long. Thank you. It's difficult to cross the planes of existence. It's like gazing into an abyss of infinity. And your other host, Shade.
Hey, I kind of feel you on the abyss of infinity. I feel that the ever-expanding universe, which eventually will succumb to the heat death, right?
I gaze into the darkness without end, and the darkness itself gazes into me. I know that sounds a little bit like a quote from Friedrich Nietzsche, but it's definitely different enough to not get sued by his estate if it exists, because I don't understand time.
You said it first, right?
Yeah, you're right. I did 1,000 years ago. Copyright Darkside Dave, even though that wasn't my name then, because I didn't know you guys, unless I experienced time differently, like Dr. Manhattan. I don't know. I'm not ready to commit to that yet, so I'm going to leave. Goodbye.
Bye, Dave.
Wow, Dave, that was I really appreciate that floundering at the end. You really made it seem like a professional endeavor we're doing here. All right, but what's our fall sign off again?
So it was gourds out, hordes out.
There we go. That's what it was. Well, I'll let you do the honors since you remembered it.
Well, we botched it last on the mausoleum episode because we forgot to do it. But yeah, so hordes out, gourds out, folks. Stay peeled. Spook them up. Ooh.
Oh, you're just going to take all of the catchphrases?
No, I'm just you told me to do it.
All right. Well, stay spooky. That's not even a good one. Everyone's saying that now. It's October.
I know. Give our month back, or take.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Slay him in the back of my Dracula. How's that for a sign off line? Oh wait, Rob Zombie just texted me. Pay my wife $500,000. No, I don't have that money.
No. Oh no.
You're going down for this, Cody. Or for Frisky Dingo. Yep. All right, well, let's get out of here.
Bye.
He thought he was in control. How wrong he was.
Come to the dark side, drive-in. It's the dark side, drive-in. Come to the dark side, drive-in. It's the dark side, drive-in movie club. From Dynamis Media comes a horror cyclopedia, watching movies from the gates of hell, covers ripped from a blockbuster shell. Officer Bosch is the only good cop, Judd's and the stuff just can't be stopped. Things get hairy in the werewolves there, turn the corner and the prowler is there. It's the dark side, drive-in. It's the dark side, drive-in. Come to the dark side, drive-in. It's the dark side, drive-in movie club. Shane's the one who runs the show. He produces and keeps the flow. The Savini of the ones and twos. Only Jack Cordell has bigger shoes. Stefan does the bulk of the research. His descriptions just can't be besmirched. Lots of synopses are the top of lore. Just like Lamson, you'll be begging for more. It's the dark side, drive-in. It's the dark side, drive-in. Come to the dark side drive-in. It's the dark side drive-in movie club.
From the deepest corner of the darkest universe, two brave hosts battle through nameless hordes of ghoulish monsters most foul, all to bring you the eternal glory of the Dark Side Drive-In.
It's the dark side drive-in. It's the dark side drive-in. Come to the dark side drive-in. It's the dark side drive-in movie club. It's the dark side drive-in. Come to the dark side drive-in. It's the dark side drive-in. It's the dark side drive-in movie club.